In the mid to late 19th century, the world was changing. Scientific advancements, religious upheaval, and an increasingly globalized world left people searching for answers. Matthew Arnold, in his poem Dover Beach, deals with this theme, finding meaning in a world where it seems like none of the old things are working. And Walt Whitman's Of the Terrible Doubt of Appearances also deals with this theme, and there are unexpected resonances between these two poems that I would like to investigate tonight. A little bit about the authors. Matthew Arnold, the author of Culture and Anarchy, is the epitome of a cultured British gentleman. Very famous for his criticism and his poetry. He seems like the antithesis to Walt Whitman, also a great poet, but a very different flavor of poet. They didn't know of each other, and they didn't have that nice of things to say about each other, as you can see here, but their poems were very similar. As I said, this was a difficult time. In 1859, Charles Darwin's Origin of Species was published, and in 1860 and 1867, Walt Whitman and Matthew Arnold were publishing their poems. So this was a very difficult time. Religion was breaking down, scientific advancements, archaeological discoveries, and historical critiques of the Bible left people with a lot of questions, and left a kind of a vacuum that both Whitman and Arnold were interested in filling. Whitman's poem is a lot more existential than Matthew Arnold's poem. Reading a few lines from his poem, he says, he represents the struggle differently. He says, "Of the terrible doubt of appearances, of the uncertainty, after all, that we may be deluded, that maybe reliance and hope are but speculations after all, that maybe identity beyond the grave is a beautiful fable only." He's questioning his own senses and his own perceptions, whereas Matthew Arnold seems his mind is made up. There's no truth in the world. The sea of faith is receding, and there doesn't seem to be any answers left in the world. And so he doesn't even think that we should bother looking. He thinks that the world, in this poem, he portrays the world as a faithless place that's missing the core values that kept it together in the past. Both of these poets are searching for value. Arnold seeks value, and he seeks civilization in the best that is known in thought. He's famous for promoting literature as the replacement to religion in society. Whereas Whitman finds meaning in the prosaic details of everyday life. One of his famous lines is from Song of Myself, is that the running blackberry would adorn the parlors of heaven. He is certain that meaning can come from the prosaic details of life. And each poet presents their solution. And while their poems are different, their lives are different, they're different people, there are a lot of similarities. Whitman sees connection as the solution. In answer to his questions, he says, "To me, these and the like of these are curiously answered by my lovers, my dear friends. I cannot answer the question of appearances or that of identity beyond the grave, but I walk or sit indifferent. I am satisfied. He, a hold of my hand, has completely satisfied me." The answer is connection for Walt Whitman. Similarly, Arnold Bennett writes, Matthew Arnold, not Arnold Bennett, "O love, let us be true to one another, for the world which seems to lie before us like a band of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy, nor love, nor light, nor certitude, nor peace, nor help for pain, and we are here as on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies crash by night." His approach seems to be a let's hold each other while the world burns and find value in each other. While both of these poets approach this question a little differently and are coming from very different places, each is reacting to modernity in a similar way. In a changing world, for both of these poets, human connection is the answer. Whether that comes in the form of friendship, romance, in a world where the truths that you've always, religious truths and other truths that you've always been able to count on aren't coming through for you, human connection is the way to cope with that for both of these poets. And so what does that mean for us several hundred years later? I think that today we are seeing similar upheavals, the world is changing. There are wars, technological changes, social media changes. There's a lot of unknown and uncertainty. Like Walt Whitman said, it's sometimes hard to even trust our own perceptions in the age of AI. However, as we also seek human connection and learn from the examples of these poets, we too can cope with modernity in a healthy way. Thank you.